Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka is Shloka number 24 of chapter 1. Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya Uvacha
Evamukto Hrishikeshaha
Evamukto Rishikeshaha
Gudakeshena Bharata
Gudakeshena Bharata
Senayorubhayor Madhye
Senayorubayor Madhye
Sthapayitva Rathottamam.
Sthabayitva Rathottamam.
Word for word, meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sanjayaha Uvacha.
Sanjayaha Uvacha.
Sanjaya said.
Sanjaya said.
Evam.
Evam.
Thus.
Thus.
Uktaha.
Uktaha.
Addressed.
Addressed.
Hrishikeshaha.
Rishikeshaha.
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Gudakeshena.
Gudakeshena.
By Arjuna.
By Arjuna.
Bharata.
Bharata.
O descendant of Bharata.
O descendant of Bharata.
Senayoho.
Senayoho.
Of the armies.
Of the armies.
Ubhayaha.
Ubhayaha.
Both.
Both.
Madhye.
Madhye.
In the midst.
In the midst.
Sthapayitva.
Sthabayitva.
Placing.
Placing.
Ratha Uttamam.
Ratha Uttamam.
The finest chariot.
The finest chariot.
Translation. Sanjaya said.
Sanjaya said.
O descendant of Bharata.
O descendant of Bharata.
Having thus been addressed by Arjuna.
Having thus been addressed by Arjuna.
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Drew up the fine chariot.
Drew up the fine chariot.
In the midst of the armies of both parties.
In the midst of the armies of both parties.
So Sanjaya is speaking, relaying to Dhritarashtra that the Lord has acted on Arjuna's request. In this verse, Arjuna is referred to as Gudakesha. Gudaka means sleep. And one who conquers sleep is called Gudakesha. Sleep also means ignorance. So Arjuna conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. As a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment, because that is the nature of a devotee. Either in waking or in sleep, a devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. This is called Krishna consciousness or samadhi. So Prabhupada is not saying sleep doesn't mean you don't get to sleep at night at all. It's just that in your waking moment, you're always thinking of Krishna. So if you're always thinking of Krishna in your waking moment, actually, even when you fall asleep, you can think of Krishna. Then yes, this Krishna consciousness itself is called samadhi. As Hrishikesha, or the director of the senses and mind of every living entity, Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. Thus he did so and spoke as follows. The spoke as follows shloka comes in the 25th shloka. Here Dhritarashtra is being addressed as Bharata by Sanjaya, which means, O descendant of the great king Bharat. Coming to the commentary by His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. How do you express your devotion? By endeavoring for excellence in service. The more service that we can take up in the service of the Lord, the more mercy we get, we invoke from the Lord, and the more purification happens. So it's relatively rare for devotees to be fully engaged in the Lord's service. But even for those who have other grihastha ashram responsibilities, they can still try their best to take up as much service as possible. But your endeavor should be to excel in that service for the pleasure of Krishna. Devotion is a state of the heart, a state of spontaneous inner attraction to Krishna. Yet that state manifests as outer action too. For the nature of love is to express itself by offering the best to the beloved. So love means to offer your best to the person that you love. That's just the way we express our love. The Gita presents the illustrious example of Arjuna. He dedicated a lifetime of diligent practice to his specialized skill of archery so that he could offer Krishna his service as a champion archer. This beautiful sentence by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu clearly indicates that none of us have to give up our daily duties and responsibilities. Whatever it is that we are an expert in, we should use that expertise and offer it as a service to Krishna. And since Arjuna is a Kshatriya, his specific expertise was archery. So even though he was an expert in it, he spent a lot of time and effort in practicing. And because he perfected that art, he offers it as a service to Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Of course, he didn't delay his devotion till he became a champion archer. He was always devoted to Krishna. So this is also important. You can't say, let me become an expert archer, then I will offer myself to Krishna. No, in the process of developing that excellence or expertise, you can already start to express your devotion to Krishna. But he didn't misuse his devotion, and the Lord's willingness to be satisfied with simple things as a license for cutting corners in his archery practice. That means he did not cut corners. He was dedicated to his practice. You can very easily cut corners and think you're trying to fool Krishna. Bhagavad Gita points to Arjuna's tireless diligence when it refers to him as Gudakesha, one who has conquered sleep, and the lethargy it represents. So, how dedicated Arjuna must have been to practice for hours and hours and hours at an end to perfect his skill. The Mahabharata describes how Arjuna conquered lethargy and sleep. Once, while he was eating food at night in Drona's martial academy, a sudden gust of wind extinguished the nearby lamp. As Arjuna continued to eat in the darkness, a stirring insight struck him. If I don't let darkness stop me from eating, why should I let it stop me from shooting? Thereafter, he started practicing archery even in the night hours, persevering untiringly while the world slept. Over time, he became an archery virtuoso, capable of hitting invisible targets just by listening to the sounds coming from them. Because this is such a fantastic example of somebody who's dedicated to a particular line of work. Just like a carpenter would just dedicate himself to learning and practicing his skills over and over again. A goldsmith would do the same thing. So similarly, Arjuna depicted that even at night time, if you practice archery, then you don't have to rely on your eyesight. You begin to rely on your ears for sounds. And that is how he became an expert. when we similarly strive for excellence in our service to Krishna, which is very important. Krishna is most pleased with your excellence in service. It may be a small service. Hanumanji was thinking, oh, what is the squirrel going to offer service to Lord Ram? He is so tiny. He is so insignificant. But the Lord validated and acknowledged that the squirrel's service was equally important, if not greater in importance than what Hanumanji had done, because the squirrel was doing his service as per his capacity. Krishna knows what capacity he has given you, but yes, we have to push ourselves to do more. Therefore, Prabhu is writing, when we similarly strive for excellence in our service to Krishna, that diligent determination to do our best will please him, and he will bless us with deepened devotion. So your devotion to Krishna increases in proportion to the excellence with which you do your service. By expressing our devotion or even our desire for devotion through the best service we can offer, we will gradually relish Krishna's reciprocation in the form of our heart's enrichment with fulfilling devotion. That means a key indicator of your advancement in devotional service is the excellence with which you do your services. So if you do your service with this kind of excellence, then certainly your heart is getting cleansed at a much faster rate. And Krishna, Guru and Krishna will be very pleased with you.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.